All right, so seller question number 6, and this is from 100 questions every seller should ask. And this is, what is curb appeal? Curb appeal is this idea or this concept where we're talking about the exterior of the property, the subject property, or the property that you're interested in. I disagree with this concept that curb appeal is only for the property that you're interested in, because a lot of our clients are judging the neighborhood, they're judging the surrounding, they're judging the community. So I would say that curb appeal, and this kind of ties in nicely to the HOA conversation, curb appeal is the feeling that someone gets when they drive into the community.
So you want your curb appeal to be on point from the time that you list your property or when you're in pre-marketing coming soon, all the way until your home is sold. The first picture in listings is typically going to be the exterior main. Some agents like to, add a little pizzazz and throw the kitchen as the first picture, but for like nearly all listings, the very first picture is going to be the exterior main, and that's where you catch your buyer. That is where you entice them to click through to see the other pictures. So when you're having those pictures done, you want to make sure that, your grass is cut, that the house is clean on the exterior. Maybe depending on the season, there's a potted flower or plant, but no car in a driveway. Just the things that will make the house show in its absolute best form.
And this is what curb appeal does, right? So people are judging a book by its cover.
Yes, this is true. So she goes on to say that your exterior home is an extension of you, just like much of the rest of your home, right? So some of your personality is going to come out. Likewise, in the home, you may have a bunch of, knickknacks and things of that nature. Just like on the inside of the home, you want to kind of edit a little bit to make it so that the interior of the home can be seen. We covered that about maybe 1 or 2 questions ago, as far as how to make your home sellable. It's the same with the exterior, which is you just want to edit a little bit. If it's in the summertime, you may want to put a couple wicker chairs in the backyard. Maybe if you have a table out there, maybe take the cover off so it shows well. If you have a porch, which isn't many people, right? But if you have a porch, maybe put a little bench out there, put a couple flowers, whatever the case may be, so that it's welcoming and inviting to buyers, because you want to remember that you are competing against all the other properties that this buyer may see. So you want every little advantage, including having your home power washed. If that's going to be the thing that puts you above the neighboring house 2 blocks down, then you need to give yourself every little bit of an edge that you can.
Before we go any further into curb appeal, you need to know that the purpose of curb appeal is to get the person to schedule a showing. So this game that we're playing as far as with marketing is to get the buyer to see the property. Buyers don't see every property that's on the market. They only have, at most agents don't like to show more than 3 properties at a time to a buyer. So you're trying to be one of the 3 that they see during a given time period. Curb appeal is going to help you get to that outcome.
Absolutely. And this goes to something else. We'll talk about it in greater detail in a future question, but we always tell our clients in our welcome email when they're getting ready for the photo session, I let them know lots of pictures are going to be taken. Lots of pictures are not going to make it to the listing, because all we want to do is get enough pictures on there. So usually for us, it's somewhere between like 15 and 25, just enough to entice the buyer to schedule a showing. Not enough pictures that the buyer will rule the property out.
Yeah, I dislike a lot of photos. I mean, I think right now we could put like 100 photos.
We can put 400 photos now.
That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Our goal is to get you into the property. We're not trying to get you to rule the property out. We want you to rule the property out once you get to the property. So there's different things that people just make concessions for.
Yes.
Once they get into the property. You don't want them ruling it out.
Absolutely. So let's see. So can curb appeal add value to your home? I think that the way that curb appeal adds value is that it gets more buyers inside the building. And the more buyers you have, then the more likely you are to get your price.
Yes. I would also add that since the goal of curb appeal is to get people into the property, look at your property like almost like an Instagram reel, where you're trying to get the person to stop the scroll. You're trying to get them to say, oh, you know what? That is interesting. Let me go take a look at this particular property. So I think it adds value in a sense that more people are interested. And then when more people are interested in something, you think is more valuable.
And more showings can also lead to the home selling more quickly.
I love when our clients become a little nervous on the buy side when they can't get their showing at a given time. Like they realize like, oh my goodness, somebody else is looking at it.
This is the hot property. I'm like, oh, I can't get Saturday at 2. Can we do 4? And so what impact do you think bad curb appeal has on homes?
Bad curb appeal leads the buyer to have these thoughts or questions about the property itself. So a bad curb appeal will lead the buyer to assume that the interior of the property isn't maintained. They're going to have work to do on the property. Keep in mind, online, you don't see the community. So bad curb appeal would give you the illusion that, oh, all of the houses must look like this.
It also can reduce the number of showings because it can cause buyers to show away. And also it may not show as well to your neighbors. So again, typically, if let's say agents are showing 3 properties to a buyer on a given afternoon, a lot of the homes in Northern Virginia are very similar. Like if you're looking at a townhouse in Kingstown, there's a little difference in, the layouts and different ones, but pretty much you're looking at a 3-level home with 3 to 4 bedrooms, usually somewhere between 2 full bathrooms to 3 full bathrooms, maybe a half bath or 2 half baths. That's pretty much it. The gist of it is that the homes are very similar. So you need every little bit of an edge to get your home to be the one that people want to make an offer on.
I would also add that because so many of the properties look the same, you're almost getting your property to like some type of base level. So it's not going to stand out because a townhouse looks like a townhouse. You just want to make sure that you have covered all your bases when it comes to preparing your property for its photo shoot.
Now, so some tips to improve your curb appeal. First up, you got to top with the grass, landscaping, trees. Make sure that you don't really have to cut your grass so much here in the fall and winter time, right? Because it really stops growing around like October. But make sure that your lawn is well maintained. Your grass is green as it should be. Any trees are pruned. If you have a bush that's dying or overgrown, that you trim that. So just make sure you're doing the maintenance that ideally would always be done. If you're not on top of it all the time, be on top of it now. Just make sure that it is showable and that it shows your home in the absolute best light. You want to make sure your gutters are clean. Downspouts are also clean. And if necessary, give it a quick little power wash.
Repainting the front door, repainting the shutters is going to help make the property pop. Also look around the casing of the windows as well. Those areas tend to be, and the condition of the driveway, because in a townhouse or even like a single family home that has a garage, a front garage, the driveway shows up in the photos and we're not really allowed to doctor up those photos. So like the grass photos, the photographer can put some green grass in it, but we can't put like a fresh driveway because that doesn't exist.
A tip that she had in the book that I actually thought was great was that we live in our homes. And so you're in and out, like, if you park in your garage, you may never even really see the front exterior of your house, right? Because you're in the garage, you pull out, you pull back in when you return home. So a tip that she had that I really liked was that you should walk out of your front door, make a loop around a block, and then walk up to your home and see what it says to you. See how your home looks. If you are able to view your home with new eyes, see what it looks like to someone who's walking up to it for the first time. And I think that can give you an idea of some things that maybe you want to work on or change, or just give yourself a better idea of what it looks like to someone else coming up to it who's not pulling directly into the driveway.
The last seller tip is, before you start working on your property, please, if you watch our videos, if you have a friend who's about to get into the real estate market, do not do anything to your property until your agent looks at it. Don't get into an extensive project. Don't change the colors. Don't do any repairs. Just have an agent come over and walk the property with you, please. There's nothing worse than having a client who has done a bunch of work, then they call an agent over, and then the agent's like, we need to redo all the work you've already done. And there is so much resistance once somebody has painted these walls a certain color or painted the front door, and you're like, hey, look, I think that's a nice color for you. That may not be a nice color for the market.
Yes. But also you can save yourself some money. A lot of times sellers feel like they have to make all these changes to the property in order to get it market ready. And sometimes it's like, hey, that doesn't matter. Save your money. You don't need to do that. So you should definitely consult an agent. When you meet with the agent, they'll provide you with a CMA. If you're in Northern Virginia, Abraham should be your agent. He'll provide you with a CMA, and he'll also provide you with a comparative market analysis. He'll provide you with the numbers and the comps to show you what other homes are selling for in your area, but he's also going to share with you the tips of things that you should do and also let you know about the things that aren't necessary to do.
Excellent. So that is seller question number 6. What is curb appeal? Did you have anything else you wanted to touch on with this particular topic?
I think that's all I have.